Virtual Groom. My name is Jack, your host, and today I am bringing you another shaving video. And the soap I'm going to be showcasing to you today is from Macduff Soap Company of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And this scent is Spring Cabin. I don't know if that's focusing there. It doesn't seem to want to focus. I wonder if I just do this. There we go. Spring Cabin. Few things. So I tried V2 of the Macduff soap base, and the soap base itself was actually very good. The criticism I had of the soap base is it had a very strong smell. It had beer. The beer overpowered the soap base a lot. It was very, very strong, and ultimately it kind of put me off liking any of their soaps for V2. V4 they removed, well V3 they removed the beer, and V4 the beer is also not present. Something I noticed immediately, and you could see I kind of lathered in here, which was a mistake. It's very, very, very soft, like almost cream soft. So if you pick this up, I highly recommend you load it from a bowl, firstly, and secondly, just be aware of how soft it actually is, because this is one of the softest soaps I think I've seen. The Spring Cabin scent. Ultimately, the way I would describe that is a beautiful spring forward scent. On the base you get two types of cedar. I know one of them is Texas cedar. I did forget the other one, forgive me. Two types of cedar, creating a nice kind of like foundation or spine for the scent. And then there's an absolute ton of citruses. You've got yuzu, you've got like lemon. There's absolutely loads of citruses. And something I like about the smell of this is cedar really plays the part there, you know. The cedar is complementing all of the kind of like all of the tang and the zest within the citrus. It's done very, very well. My only criticism of this scent is that the scent strength is quite low. I would say the scent strength is probably a 3, maybe 4, like max, and that's really the only thing I wouldn't say bothered me, but the only thing that I don't love about this release. Everything else I really, really enjoy. The label is beautiful. I mean, look at that label. Remarkable label. I love what Macduff's represents. Their soap during my testing is very good, and we'll get into that in a minute. So with that, I've crossed that into a bowl here. This is also made in Edmonton, well, just outside of Edmonton, by a potter, like someone who does pottery, made by Heather. I've crushed that there. You can see really how soft it is. It almost looks like a cream in there. That's lovely. Okay, so that's the soap we're going to be using today. The brush is also new, and this is a synthetic brush. This is the Omego Evo. This is, for me, this is in direct competition with the Trafalgar T3. The only big difference is the cost. This is twice the amount of the T3. Do I see why the cost is justified? Frankly, not really. The handle is probably a bit more premium, the way it holds and the way it fills. Aside from that, the knot is pretty much the same. They're both set fairly low, so if you like good backbone and a synthetic, it has that. Aside from that, really, like, for me, there's no reason why it should be twice the cost, but I guess that remains to be seen. Next thing we're going to be using today, and I know I'm already fucking 4 minutes in, and I apologize. We're going to be using this razor. This is made in Switzerland. I'll talk to you a bit more about the razor as we shave with it. It's from a company called Blutt. It's called the Blutt razor. It's the BR1. So we're gonna be talking about that when we're shaving with it. But I'm just gonna get on with this. So I'm just wetting the brush here, getting a good soak through. Like I've always done, I don't like having a really wet brush when loading from a bowl, because then I just end up finding new bowl lather, and I don't want a bowl lather. So now the brush has been kind of released of a lot of water. I'm just gonna load just over where the soap is, and you'll see that it's loading very dry, which is kind of what I want. I don't want it to load really wet, because then you just, like I said, end up making a bowl lather, and I don't want to do that. So a bit more water in there. I prefer putting it on the soap as opposed to in the brush. There we go. It's the only thing I hate about loading from the bowl is that clanking sound. A lot of people really like the clanking sound. It pisses me off a little bit. I have to say. But yeah. Scent's coming out a lot more now. It's really nice. That cedar is a wonderful base. I actually think we're good with the load there. We can get a decent shave out of that. So all I'm going to do is take off the specs, wet the face, and we will get loaded up or lathered up. So during my testing, the lather this soap made was very, very good. Really dense, slick, kind of everything you would want. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put a bit of water in the base of this brush here, just because something I don't like about these new age synthetic knots is they're just annoying to spray. Let's get a good base layer of this on, and then we'll start building the lather. There we go. So now I'm basically trying to create a crater in the brush, and it's not doing it because the lather's still dry. It's funny because when I use badges for a really long time, I forget quite how easy these are to use. Hope you guys can see me okay. What we can actually do to improve this. There we go. Hopefully that made a difference. Get the tips again. So I would say outright that I think this actually has a little bit more scrub than the T3. It's more difficult to splay. I mean, it's doing a really good job. Can't deny that. So I think a big reason for this scent having a kind of lower scent strength is it's kind of hard to get citrus materials to have a really bold scent strength that kind of stays within soap. That's kind of just the way it is. There's just not much the makers can do. But I'd say the cedar here is really helping those citrus materials, giving it a nice base. If you want to know all the notes in the soap, kind of like always, I put the notes in the description. But you can see the really nice dense lather this builds. Really, really nice. It reminds me, as far as lather structure goes, a lot like milk steak. It can take a lot more water than milk steak does. See, there's actually part of this brush that I find a bit uncomfortable to splay. It feels a bit too scrubby, like it's a bit scritchy. I'm not sure why. Right now, I prefer the Fiber T3, but let's give this a bit of use. I mean, they're synthetic fibers, so they're not going to break in, so to speak. but it remains to be squishy, and it just isn't really my cup of tea. Man. You can see the lather it builds, really nice and dense. Really nice. It can really take water, like an impressive amount of water. You can see how nice that is. I think we're good here. Grab this. Don't need to shave that high. Okay. Blutt razor inside this is an Astra SP. Let me talk to you a little bit about the razor. Awesome protection from the soap there. Actually really good protection. It's very dense. Could be because of the addition of the yogurt. There's yogurt in this soap base. Or yogurt, as you Americans would say. So, this razor then. So, machined and finished entirely in Switzerland. By a guy who I also believe is a hobbyist. Started a company. This thing has been in development for a while, I could tell you that. Quite a lot of prototyping. Plenty of R&D. Ultimately, the finished product is something that's incredibly well made. The head geometry is right up my alley as far as kind of like how the blade feels on your face. There's not much blade feel. In fact, I'd say there's actually very little blade feel as a whole. It's nothing that takes away from any efficiency. The razor itself is also very, very efficient. Given the amount of blade fill anyway, it's much more efficient than most razors that have that amount of blade fill. The only downside to this product, really, to this razor, is the cost. It's $265 US, which for a razor that's not like fully adjustable, I think is quite steep. But I actually think as a package, you're getting something that's incredibly well made and shaves incredibly well. This Macduff space is actually really good. It's so dense. Quite honestly, I'm astounded at the amount of water it takes. It just takes so much water. But you don't need it. I think I had a good lather pretty quick, but you know me. Not really sold on this brush, to be honest. I actually prefer the way the Trafalgar feels. Let's go kind of cross grain here. Tremendous protection, brother. So very slick, as you would expect from a soap of the modern age. I mean, it's very good. I actually do see an improvement from V2 to V4. It feels great.
Feels really nice.
Okay, that was weird. I just noticed the camera cut me off and you missed the rest of the second pass. What I pretty much said was really good protection of the really good protection of both the soap and razor combination. The soap after the post shave, which I've just done, I've not applied the aftershave yet. I'll go through that with you in a minute. But the soap leaves this really nice tacky feeling on your face. Like really nice. The tackiness has began to dry down a bit now. But overall, like really high quality post shave. Or immediate post shave. And the reason I call it immediate post shave, this is immediately after the shave. It might be 2 hours later and it feels completely different, but right now it feels excellent. Let's use the splash for this, so the matching splash. The scent of the splash, I'd say, is much stronger than the soap, maybe two times stronger, 2.5 times stronger. The label is also very nice, as you can see. Very good. The scent of the splash is phenomenal. You get everything. The cedar, all of the kind of like, all of the beautiful blends of citrus. It's just done very well. Let's see how the splash actually is. This is not an alcohol-based splash, which you guys know. That's my preference. It's like almost like a slight oiliness, which reminds me of the Purely Skinful splash, which is phenomenal. Another good Canadian product. Wow. That feels great. Going on the skin. And that scent, guys. I'm not normally a citrus guy, but man, it's just so potent. Very nice. Okay, let me show you what I used today. Sorry about the cut off. You didn't miss too much. I just finished the second pass and kind of went into my face wash post shave. But Spring Cabin by Macduff. Massive step forward with this soap base for me. I use V2. This is better than V2. The scent also is now not covered by beer, so they completely got rid of that problem. And overall, this is a really good release, and I suggest you check it out. Like I said, my only criticism really is that it was a bit stronger. But I'll reserve for a soap that probably should be stronger as far as the scent breakdown goes. Citrus scents are just well known for not being really strong anyway. My razor of choice today was the Blutt razor. Did very well. I'm not going to tell you too much about that. We're actually going to have a proper review of this razor in the next couple of weeks. Overall, so far it's been impressive and I'm really enjoying it. My brush, which didn't impress me very much, this is the Omega Evo. It just felt scritchy is the way I would explain it. Especially when directly comparing it to the T3. The T3 feels soft. I can feel like almost prickly hairs there, prickly hair fibers, which is quite strange, but I guess that is what it is. And the splash, which was phenomenal by the way, is beginning to dry down now. It's no longer oily on my skin. This might be amazing, so we'll see how the splash dries down. I'll leave some notes in the description below telling you what the splash was like. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video today. If you're new around here and haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I would very much appreciate it. Apart from that, my name is Jack, your host from the Virtual Groomroom. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful day, and goodbye for now.